Last Firehawk, The Ember Stone by Katrina Charman. Introduction. In the enchanted land of Perodia lies Valor Wood, a forest filled with magic and light. There, a wise old owl named Gray leads the Owls of Valor. These brave warriors protect the many creatures of the wood. But a darkness is spreading across Perodia, and the forest's magic and light are fading away. A powerful old vulture called Thorn controls the Shadow, a dark magic. He is using it to destroy Perodia and the homes of all who live there. Rivers are drying up. Trees are losing their leaves. Thorn will not stop until Perodia is destroyed. Tag, a small barn owl, dreams of becoming an Owl of Valor. He wants to protect his forest. He wants to fight Thorn and his army of spies. But Tag needs more than just courage and bravery. Only the brightest magic can beat the darkness. Perodia. Whispering oak, shifting sands, mossy hills, howling caves, Valor Wood, rocky beach, crystal caverns, jagged mountains, bubbling bog, lullaby lake, the Shadowlands, Blue Bay, Fire Island. Chapter 1. Training Time. Ta-ra! A horn sounded through Valor Wood. Tag watched as owls of all sizes swooped down from the trees. Training time, Tag thought, excitement bubbling in his tummy. He hopped off his branch to join a group of young owls. Maximus, the captain of the Owls of Valor, stood in the center of camp.
You are all here to learn how to fight,
Maximus announced.
As you know, our magical forest is in danger. Only the bravest warriors can protect it, and only the bravest warriors will become Owls of Valor.
Tag puffed up his chest. He wanted to become an Owl of Valor more than anything.
Choose your weapons,
Maximus yelled. His voice had one setting, very loud. The weapons were lined up. Tag stood beside a bow and arrow, too tall. Next, he lifted a sword, too heavy. He picked up a shiny dagger. It was just right. Tag chose the smallest shield. It was as big as he was. I may be small now, but I won't give up until I'm strong enough to hold the biggest shield, Tag thought. All day, Maximus showed the young owls how to duck and dive. Tag attacked tree trunks with the dagger. His wings got weaker as he struggled to hold the heavy shield. Screech! Suddenly, Gray flew down to land beside Maximus. His bright yellow eyes sparkled with magic. The owls gathered around in silence, waiting for their leader to speak.
All animals are now forbidden to go near the Howling Caves,
Gray said. Tag raised his shaky wing. But why? He asked. The caves were his favorite place to explore.
The caves are too dangerous,
Gray warned. He waved a wing, and an image appeared beside his head. Tiger bats, thought Tag. The tiger bats' huge orange eyes glowed. Their long, sharp beaks snapped at the air.
Thorn's army of tiger bats has been seen near the caves,
Gray said. He waved his wing again, and a dark cloud appeared. In its center was the tiger bat's master, Thorn. Tag shivered. The old and powerful vulture would stop at nothing to destroy Valor Wood. Gray's magical cloud disappeared. He stretched out his huge wings and flew off.
Back to training!
Maximus yelled.
Find a partner!
The owls quickly paired up, leaving a large brown owl named Bod for Tag to work with. Tag held up his shield and stood as tall as he could while Bod looked him up and down. The shield slipped from Tag's tired wing. It clattered to the ground. Bod laughed. You'll never be an owl of valor. You can't even hold a shield. Tag felt his face burn. They practiced until Tag could barely hold his dagger.
That's enough for today!
Maximus shouted. Tag looked at Bod. I may not be big and strong, Tag thought, but I am brave enough to be an owl of valor. I'll find a way to prove it. Chapter 2. An important discovery. Tag stomped through the woods on his way home. He heard a rustle nearby. Someone or something was watching. Tag picked up a stick. Footsteps scritched and scratched through the dry leaves. Closer, closer, until... Gotcha! Ah! Tag yelled. A small gray squirrel fell to the ground laughing. Scaredy owl! Skyla, that's not funny, Tag said. I almost hit you. That twig wouldn't hurt me, his best friend replied. I thought you were a brave warrior. I am, Tag said. One day, I'm going to be an owl of valor and save the wood from the evil. Skyla jumped up and put her paw over Tag's beak. Don't say his name. I'm not afraid of Thorn, Tag mumbled. Skyla's eyes went wide. You should be. Tag looked at the river. It used to be full of clear blue water. Now it was dry because of Thorn. He walked on, kicking at the dusty ground. I know what will cheer you up. Skyla tapped Tag on the wing. You're it. No fair. Tag chased after her. I can't run as fast as you, but I can fly. Tag took off, gliding through the trees. After a few minutes, he called, Skyla, where are you? I'm here. Skyla giggled. Tag landed beside her and looked around. They had gone farther than he'd thought. Oh no, Tag groaned. We are at the Howling Caves. Gray told us to stay away. Let's get out of here, Skyla said, looking at the 3 creepy caves. There was a sudden whisper on the wind. A black cloud covered the sun so that it was almost as dark as night. The shadow! Skyla grabbed her slingshot. It's probably just a storm, Tag said. He flapped closer to the largest cave. Don't go in there, Skyla warned. This could be my chance to prove how brave I am, Tag thought. The cave looked like a mouth open wide, ready to gobble them up. The wind blew harder and howled around them. No wonder these are called the Howling Caves, Tag thought. Don't worry, Skyla, Tag said. Tiger bats only come out at night.
Who said anything about tiger bats?
Skyla asked. Gray did, Tag said. He pointed to the dark sky. Come on, we need somewhere to shelter from the storm. Tag peered into the deep, dark cave. A red light glowed. What's that? He hopped inside, heading toward the light.
I don't like this,
Skyla said, loading her slingshot.
But someone has to make sure you don't get eaten.
Tag smiled to show he wasn't scared, but his feathers were shaking. The friends walked toward the glowing light. The cold cave felt warmer as they neared it.
What is that?
Skyla asked. Tag hopped closer for a better look. He blinked. It's a golden egg. The biggest, brightest egg Tag had ever seen. Chapter 3. The Golden Egg. Tag stared at the huge glowing egg. I've never seen an egg this big before.
I've never seen a golden egg before,
Skyla said.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, Tag said. But I bet the tiger bat stole it. We have to get it out of here.
Wait!
Skyla cried.
It could be a tiger bat.
Tag laughed. Bats don't lay eggs, silly.
Tiger bats are not normal bats,
Skyla said.
Anyway, how are we going to move it?
Tag frowned. The egg was bigger than both of them. Maybe we could roll it. He pressed a wing against the egg. Ow! It's hot! Tag shook his sizzling feathers.
Stay here. I have an idea.
Skyla scurried out of the cave. Outside, the sky had cleared and the sun was bright again. See? It was just a passing storm, Tag told the egg. Skyla returned with armfuls of leaves and sticks.
I'll make a cart.
Her quick fingers twisted the leaves and sticks together. Soon the cart was finished. Together, Tag and Skyla nudged the egg onto the cart. Poor egg, all alone in this creepy cave, Tag said. Skyla looked back at Tag. She gasped and pointed a shaky finger.
Tag, I don't think it was alone.
Tag turned. A pair of big, bright eyes stared at him. Another pair slowly opened. Then another and another, until hundreds of beady orange eyes glared back. Chapter 4. Run! The tiger bat's bright orange eyes watched from the darkness. Tiger bats! Yelled Tag. Gray was right!
And we've woken them up!
Skyla cried. Tag and Skyla pushed and pulled at the cart. It didn't move. Hurry! Tag said.
The egg is too heavy!
Skyla huffed. Tag gave a big push. The egg wobbled, then thunk! It fell off the cart. I hope it's not cracked, thought Tag. The tiger bat's wings scraped the walls. One landed close by with a thud. The egg started to roll out of the cave and down the hill. Follow that egg! Tag yelled. The friends raced behind the egg as the tiger bats flew out of the cave, zooming back and forth.
Squawk! Good thing tiger bats can't see well in daylight.
Skyla puffed.
We should be able to lose them out here.
Tag's heart pounded. Blasts of air from the tiger bat's giant orange and black striped wings pushed him on. The egg picked up speed as it rolled downhill. It banged into an old fallen tree and stopped.
We have to hide,
Skyla said.
before the bats see us.
Tag looked at the fallen tree. Quick, let's hide in here! He used a stick to shove the egg into the hollow trunk. Then he and Skyla crawled in behind it. Clack, clack, clack. Tag and Skyla held their breath as the tiger bat's beak snapped above them. After a while, it was quiet.
That was close,
Skyla said. Oh, I know. Tag sighed. Then he grinned. But we did it! We saved the egg! The sun was setting. They were too tired to move the egg, so the friends rested in a nearby tree. I'll keep watch, Tag said with a yawn. But soon they both fell fast asleep. Chapter 5. Rising from the Ashes. Wara! An alarm sounded. Tag woke with a start. The moon was high in the sky. Below, something flickered brightly. Fire! He yelled. Black smoke filled the air.
the egg!
Skyla cried. Flames rose from the old fallen tree. Tag gasped. Huh? The egg was hot! It must have set the tree on fire! The friends raced down from their branch. They scooped up water to pour onto the flames. Finally, all that was left was a smoky pile of ashes. Pieces of golden eggshell glittered among the ashes. The egg is destroyed! Tag cried. We're going to be in such big trouble! Now we went into the howling caves and woke the tiger bats for nothing! And we started a fire! Skyla patted Tag on the back.
At least we put out the fire before it spread.
Something snuffled beside them. Look, Tag said. Covered in ash, blinking its big blue eyes, was a very large baby bird.
Achoo!
The bird sneezed, sending up a cloud of ash. Her beautiful feathers were gold, red, and orange. They sparkled brightly, lighting the dark wood. Skyla stared.
A firehawk!
Tag shook his head. But there's no such thing as a firehawk. Chapter 6. Gray's Tail. The baby bird stretched her wings. I'm Tag, Tag told the bird. This is Skyla. She thinks you're a firehawk. Skyla put her paws on her hips.
She is a firehawk. My grandma told me they had bright, sparkling feathers.
She pointed to the bird's glittering wings.
Screech!
A loud screech echoed through the wood. Gray appeared as if from nowhere. He did not look happy. It wasn't our fault, Tag started. Not exactly. Then Gray saw the baby bird.
What do we have here?
Gray smiled at the bird.
I didn't think I'd ever see a Firehawk again.
I told you, Tag,
said Skyla. She really is a Firehawk? Tag asked.
Yes,
said Gray.
You have made an important discovery. I thought the Firehawks were all gone.
What happened to them? Tag asked.
The Firehawks were magical birds who protected the Ember stone, a stone that holds powerful magic within it.
Gray explained.
They did everything in their power to stop Thorn from finding the stone, but one day the Firehawks vanished.
Skyla gasped.
That's terrible.
Could the Ember Stone stop Thorn and the Shadow? Asked Tag. Gray stroked his chin.
Maybe. The stone's magic could be even stronger than Thorn's dark magic. But Thorn is moving fast. Trees are dying. The wood's good magic is fading. Can you feel it?
Tag and Skyla nodded. Valor Wood was changing. Flowers no longer bloomed. Rivers were dry. It wouldn't be long before Thorn destroyed everything.
Where is the stone now?
Skyla asked.
I do not know, but I do know that Thorn never found it. If he had, he would have already used it to destroy Paradia.
Gray replied.
The Firehawks lived on Fire Island, so the stone might still be there, hidden somewhere only a Firehawk can find it.
Gray looked at the baby bird.
Where did you find her egg?
Tag took a deep breath. Owls of valor were brave and true. He had to tell the truth. At the Howling Caves, Tag replied. We thought Thorn and his tiger bats had stolen the egg, so we tried to save it.
That was very brave,
Gray said.
But I forbid anyone to go near those caves.
I'm sorry, Tag said, secretly pleased that Gray had called him brave.
We didn't mean to start a fire,
Skyla added.
The fire was not your fault,
Gray told them.
Firehawks hatch in flame.
Ta-ra!
A horn sounded in the distance.
We're under attack,
Gray shouted.
I must gather the Owls of Valor.
Can I come? Tag asked. Gray held up a wing.
You two stay with the Firehawk.
Skyla nodded.
We'll keep her safe.
But I can fight, Tag cried. Gray shook his head.
There are more ways than one to protect our forest, Tag. It is not always the biggest or strongest owls who become owls of valor. Keep the Firehawk safe and hidden. There is only one reason Thorn would have a Firehawk egg. He wanted this Firehawk to lead him to the Ember Stone. We can't let Thorn find her.
Gray disappeared into the trees as a dark cloud filled the sky. Chapter 7. Tiger Bat Attack. The owls of valor flew overhead in their shining armor.
Come on!
Skyla said, pulling at Tag's wing.
We have to hide the Firehawk!
Tag and Skyla tried to lift the baby bird. Tag groaned. She's too heavy. Hundreds of tiger bats circled above. Their orange eyes glowed in the darkness. Skyla loaded her slingshot.
Thorn's army is coming for the Firehawk!
We can't let them find her, Tag said, grabbing a heavy stick. Tag leaned in to speak to the trembling baby bird. Can you fly? He asked. The Firehawk gave a small peep. Tag moved his wings up and down slowly so as not to scare her. Can you do this? Tag wasn't sure Firehawks could fly. The baby bird ruffled her feathers, but stayed on the ground.
I guess not,
said Skyla. Tag sighed. Let's hide in the grove. It's close by. The thick bushes should help hide her bright feathers. Tag and Skyla hurried through the trees. The Firehawk wobbled on unsteady legs as they led her into the grove. The baby bird peeped, flapping her wings. Stay quiet, Tag whispered. Suddenly, squawk! A tiger bat dived down. Skyla fired a pine cone at its head.
Stay back!
She shouted, hitting it between the eyes. The tiger bat flew dizzily away. Tag held the stick tightly. A tiger bat crashed through the trees, then another. Their sharp beaks snapped at Tag and Skyla. Clack, clack, clack. Skyla darted up a tree to shoot acorns. She moved so fast she was a blur. I have to lead them away from the Firehawk, Tag thought. He rushed to the other side of the grove. The larger tiger bat followed. Tag lifted the stick and jabbed it at the tiger bat.
Squawk, squawk!
He's calling the others, Skyla! Tag yelled. Get ready! Skyla shot acorns from her branch, but each time she hit one bat, another landed nearby. Tag swung the heavy stick with trembling wings. He couldn't hold it much longer.
There are too many!
Skyla cried. Thorn's army moved in. Tag was surrounded. He took a step backward, then
Scraw!
The tiger bats spun around. They watched as the Firehawk ran out from the bushes.
Scraw!
She called, her glowing wings held high. There was a flash of light and heat. Tag covered his eyes. He heard the whoosh of many wings. Then all was quiet. When he looked again, the tiger bats were gone, and so was the dark cloud. Chapter 8. Blaze. Skyla scurried down from her tree.
Where did Thorn's army go?
Tag blinked. The Firehawk scared them away. The baby bird gave a happy little peep. Her gold and red feathers ruffled in the breeze. That was amazing, Tag said to the Firehawk. Hey, we should name you. How about Blaze?
I like it!
Skyla grinned. Blaze gave another peep. Peep. Now let's find Gray. Tag said. Tag, Skyla, and Blaze hurried through the woods. They hid as best they could in case Thorn's spies were still close by. Tag was glad to see there was not much damage in camp. A few nests had been destroyed, and the armor hut had been knocked over, but that was it. Tag led his friends to Gray's tree.
Scree!
Gray landed beside them.
I've been looking for you,
Gray said, opening the door.
Quickly, bring your new friend inside.
Her name is Blaze, Tag said. Gray smiled.
It suits you,
he told Blaze. Tag had never been inside Gray's nest before. Wooden steps led to the very top of the tree, opening into a room filled with books.
What happened?
Gray asked. Thorn's army found us, Tag said. We tried to fight, but they surrounded us. Then Blaze screeched.
She saved us,
Skyla added.
Thorn's army disappeared.
The cry of the Firehawk,
Gray said.
It must have scared them away.
They were looking for her, weren't they? Tag asked.
Yes, I was afraid of this,
Gray said.
Thorn won't give up now that he knows Blaze has hatched. We must find the Ember Stone before Thorn does. We will need it in order to defeat him. It may be our only weapon against his dark magic.
You should call the Owls of Valor right away, Tag said. We need that stone. Gray put a wing on Tag's shoulder.
This is not a job for the Owls of Valor,
he said.
Only this Firehawk, along with you and Skyla, can find the stone.
Chapter 9. Adventure Calls. Tag looked at Blaze. Then he turned back to Gray. Do you really think a barn owl, a squirrel, and a baby bird can battle Thorn?
We need the Ember Stone, Tag,
Gray said.
Blaze already trusts you and Skyla, and it is Blaze who will find the stone.
Tag knew what he had to do. We'll do it, he said. Skyla, Blaze, and me. We will go to Fire Island and find the stone. Gray smiled. Then he quickly searched through some papers on his desk. He pulled out a rolled-up piece of paper and gave it to Tag.
This will show you the way.
Tag tucked it beneath his wing. Gray opened a large cabinet filled with weapons. He turned, holding up 2 sets of armor. One for Tag, made of silver. One for Skyla in bronze.
I had these made for you.
Tag tried his on. It fit perfectly. How did you know we would need armor?
I am very old.
Gray smiled.
There is not much that I do not know.
He handed Tag a golden dagger. It felt lighter than a feather. Wow, Tag said. This blade is sharper than a tiger bat's beak.
This is for you, Skyla.
Gray gave Skyla a slingshot made from the finest wood. She grinned.
I'll be able to shoot even faster now.
What about Blaze? Tag asked.
Her feathers are stronger than any armor,
Gray said.
And you've seen how fearsome her cry is.
Tag and Skyla nodded.
Sleep here tonight.
Gray continued.
I'll be on the lookout for Thorn's spies, so I won't see you off. Keep your weapons close at all times, and remember, Thorn could attack at any moment. Good luck."
Gray flew away into the night. Tag gripped his dagger. He felt a shiver of excitement as he looked at Skyla and Blaze. "Tomorrow, we head for Fire Island," Tag said, "where no owl or squirrel has gone before." Chapter 10. Fire Island. The next morning, Tag readied their supplies. He packed nuts, berries, and his favorite snack, worms. He also packed a large water pouch.
Ready?
Skyla asked, wearing her new armor. Tag grinned. Ready! They woke up a sleepy Blaze and set off along the winding path through Valor Wood. Tag smiled as he glided through the trees. He was ready for adventure. They traveled for hours, the cool breeze at their backs. Suddenly,
Ow!
Skyla cried, hopping up and down.
Something bit me.
Tag landed and looked at the ground. Why is this soil red and not brown? Blaze stomped her feet.
The ground is moving!
Skyla cried. Tag took a closer look. The ground isn't moving. It's covered in prickle ants. Tiny red ants covered the soil. Their eyes were bright orange, just like the tiger bats. Thorn spies, Tag said.
They're climbing all over me!
Cried Skyla. The three friends hopped along, trying to escape. But the prickle ants crawled up their legs, biting and stinging. We'll have to jump in the water to wash them off, Tag shouted as they reached a fast-flowing stream.
I can't swim!
Skyla cried. I can't either, Tag said. But it's not deep. Tag led Skyla and Blaze into the cool water. They all climbed out as fast as they could. It worked, Tag said, shaking water from his feathers. Skyla squeezed water out of her tail.
Yes, but if the ants found us, that means Thorn knows where we are.
Tag shivered. He didn't like feeling that Thorn was so close by. You're right. We need to hurry. Tag pulled out Gray's paper. Gray said this would show us the way. Maybe it's a map.
I don't understand,
Skyla said, looking over Tag's shoulder.
It's blank.
Look! Tag gasped as a small dot appeared on the paper. It grew bigger as he watched. There were shapes of land and water, and names of places he had never heard of. It is a map! Blaze tapped the map with her beak. She hopped toward a path. I think Blaze wants us to go that way, Tag said. The friends followed the path for hours. Finally, they reached the edge of the forest and looked out over a wide sea. Far in the distance was an island. It looked like a mountain rising from the sea.
Is that it?
Skyla asked, peering across the dark, choppy water. Tag nodded. Fire Island. Chapter 11. Over the Waves. Skyla looked out across the waves.
Fire Island seems very far away.
said.
How do we get to it?
Teg frowned. He was too tired to fly such a long way. Skyla and Blaze couldn't fly at all. I'm not sure, but we've come so far, he said. There must be a way across the water. Peep! Blaze called, peering over a rock at the water's edge. What is it? Teg asked as he and Skyla hurried over. A large wrinkled turtle smiled up at them.
Hello, I'm Thaddeus.
The turtle spoke very slowly. Then Thaddeus saw Blaze.
A Firehawk! I haven't seen a Firehawk for a very long time. Oh.
He sighed.
There used to be lots of them, but not anymore.
Where did they go?
Skyla asked.
I do not know,
said Thaddeus.
Many years ago, there was a big storm, the biggest I have ever seen. The sky grew so dark that even the Firehawk's bright feathers were hidden. There was a great battle between the Firehawks and an old and powerful vulture.
Thorn, Teg said. Thaddeus nodded.
After the storm, the Firehawks were never seen again.
He turned to Blaze.
Until now.
Teg pointed to Fire Island. We need to get over there. Can you help us? Thaddeus smiled.
I'd be happy to help a Firehawk and her friends.
The three friends climbed onto Thaddeus's shell. They held tightly onto one another as Thaddeus sailed over the waves.